The captain is the most brain-dead character in Risk of Rain 2, and don't let delusional redditors tell you otherwise. With a primary that does more damage than that one racist tweet your favorite streamer made 7 years ago, and a tertiary skill that allows you to cosplay Broly legs partaking in World War II, the captain is only slept on due to his lack of dynamic gameplay and assets. So then how do you play captain? Well, it's easy as long as you know what you're doing. Firstly, you're going to want to enable Artifact of Command. Why? Because it makes the game good, and Huntress viable. With Command active you can now build, and unironically strategize. I'm not going to tell you what his 4 abilities do, as you're probably capable of reading. As for loadout, you want to take 1 healing beacon and 1 hacking beacon, which you do have, right? The healing beacon is the captain's most powerful tertiary, slept on by many due to the fact that redditors overthink everything, and don't realize that sometimes eating glue is the right option. The hacking beacon is overpowered, and should be removed from the game pending a rework. As for your build, to start off with, you want to hit 100% crit, so naturally we'll start with a goat's hoof, to temporarily set our Draenei foot fetish. The captain's early damage is ridiculous, making it perfectly reasonable to take a foot for your first item, which allows you to get across the map faster. After this, build some Lensmaker's glasses, Predatory Instincts, and of course the Harvester's Scythe. You should reach 100% crit by about stage 6, and your Predatory Instincts will give you enough attack speed that you can proceed to build tougher times to tank up. Alternatively, you could begin building Soldier Syringes, to show the world you aren't afraid of death. As for green items after Instincts and Scythe, 1 or 2 Hobble Feathers depending on the amount of crack currently circulating in your system, followed by 2 to 3 infusions, will give you enough mobility and HP to reach stage 8 easily. Going further than that, get 1 infusion per 5 stages and you'll never be 2-shot by Dingleberry fleeing wisps again. Once you have your infusions, your green items no longer matter. Have fun. I personally like buying fuel cells and doing stupid shit with the Sormarang. There is only 1 yellow item in the game, the Shatter Spleen. If you are so lucky as to kill a boss and see this glorious golden glow, you can Alt F4, as you have already won the run. Shatter Spleen increases your damage by multitudes, due to the fact that it inflicts a bleed on every crit, making for some silly stack numbers on higher HP enemies. As for reds, your order should be Tesla Coil, into Aegis, and into Rejuvenation Rack. Tesla Coil serves the dual purpose of increasing your damage output and your defense by notifying you of when a wisp has spawned behind you, by murdering it. Aegis and Rejuvenation Rack, combined with the captain's healing beacon, causes this. I don't need to elaborate. Active items are a meme. If I wanted to use active items, I'd reinstall the Battle.net launcher and go back to playing World of Warcraft, and that's never happening. Not again. Now, I'll give you a brief rundown of each of the bosses you may encounter while playing the captain. Beetle Queen. The Beetle Queen is the easiest boss in the game to kill. Just bunny hop like a washed up CSGO player and drop your orbital bombardment off cooldown and she will go down easily. Wandering Vagrant is the easiest boss in the game to kill. Just start the fight with an orbital bombardment, which will do about a third of her health bar. Then, use autos to get her to just under 1/3 remaining HP, by which point your bombardment will be ready again, allowing you to show her the power of the land of the free, and entirely skip her core mechanic by blasting her from 1/3 HP into a grey screen simulator. The Stone Titan is the easiest boss in the game to kill. Your healing beacon will allow you to face tank his entire Hyper Beam knockoff, while your reflexes and intellect will allow you to skillfully dodge his heavily telegraphed launcher. As an aside, this launcher is the only thing Titan has that can potentially kill you, as if hit by it, you will be knocked high enough to be outside of your healing beacon's range. But, considering it took me 7 minutes of standing still for this asshole to even land the thing, you shouldn't be too worried about that. The Grove Tender is the easiest boss in the game to kill. Your defensive Microbots will make his barrage irrelevant, and by timing micro walks with his telegraphs for his chain fetish ejaculation, he'll go down easily. The June Strider is the easiest boss in the game to kill. All you have to do is strafe to dodge his barrage of thrown pine cones, and save your orbital bombardment for when he activates his passive at low HP. Now, that might not be enough damage to fully kill him, in which case he will begin giving you the suck. If this happens, just walk away and call the police. You will die immediately. The Magma Worm is the easiest boss in the game to kill. Magma Worm is all about patience. You have to remain in your healing beacon circle to combat the burn you will inevitably be inflicted with and slowly chip down its health, or have Tesla Coil. The Imp Overlord is the most challenging boss to face as an early game captain. You'll have to start the teleporter event about 40 meters away from your healing beacon, so as to bait him into teleporting a safe distance from your healing bubble. Even then, You have to skillfully dodge his bleed spikes, or almost certainly be one-shot by the massive amount of damage he outputs. The Imp Overlord is to the captain, as the captain is to the game's other bosses. Bullshit OP that should be removed from the game. But stay calm and run in a big enough circle, and you will eventually overcome even the Imp Overlord. The captain has several unique interactions and mechanics exclusive to him, the most important of which I will now list. The first of his free orbital bombardment strikes does significantly more damage than the following two, due to a bug that remains unpatched since release. The captain starts the game with defensive Microbots, which will block solid projectiles. It will not block wisps and other hit-scan lasers, including golems. It also won't block both of a greater wisp pistachio ice cream scoops, so you'll have to turn on your scripts to move slightly in one direction to dodge this. It's important to note that the captain's secondary, his stun laser, will not work on enemies emerging from the ground. This includes beetles, golems, clay templars, and elder Lemurians. Charging the captain's primary will increase the knockback, making a charge shot ideal against lesser wisps, as it will either kill or render them irrelevant. Now, with the knowledge bestowed upon you, beating Monsoon or even attempting a God run to show your uninterested friends on Discord repeatedly should be viable. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my TED Talks.